Well, so Tim has raised a question. Thoughts on Erdegaard? This is for me and how he will do. We're going to get onto that actually now. So I'm quite excited about Erdegaard coming in. I've just been Arsenal have been crying out for a creative attacking midfielder for so long now, and now that we finally hooked Özil out to Fenerbahce, he's still relatively young, Erdegaard. He's 22, so the fact that we have this kind of young attacking nucleus kind of coming through of him and Saka and Smith Rowe gives me a lot of. I feel like this could be an actual, because Arsene Wenger was always about Project Youth and all that, but didn't necessarily succeed in the way he wanted it to. I reckon Arteta could actually build a solid foundation with this lot to go forward. This could be our kind of Kane and who else is a good young, like Grealish, all them coming through. I reckon this could be a good foundation to build on, for us. Apparently, Arteta has been saying he brings special qualities that Arsenal have been missing. I mean, it's not hard, really, when you have when players like Willian and Pepe have been your attacking, threat for most of the season. Isn't it funny how as soon as we drop Willian and Pepe from the lineup and bring in Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe, God knows why Emil Smith-Rowe was frozen out of the team for so long, because he brings, like, the qualities that he brings and the link-up play he has with Bukayo Saka. Like, he's a revelation, and I always thought he looked, I remember watching him in like one of his first games for Arsenal in the Europa League match at the Emirates, and I thought he was quality then. I think I even watched Saka's debut for Arsenal, which I believe came in the Europa League game, and he was actually playing as a striker.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy has something about him. I feel like he's not really striker material. I feel like he could be good in the sort of on the wing, maybe,
Yeah. I was just looking at Greg's like best young England talent, and then Greg says Jesse Lingard.
Jesse Lingard. Yeah, I know.
But in
hopefully it won't go that route, Greg.
In response to that, I probably.
So Erdegaard. It's good that we've pried him away from Madrid, because Madrid obviously we managed to pry Ceballos from them and Erdegaard. So I don't know what that says about Real Madrid kind of happily giving their players that haven't been playing consistently away to us. I'm hoping Erdegaard's not going to be another Ceballos that doesn't really offer much aside from the odd goal and odd assist here and there. I'm hoping it's going to be consistent. He's going to be consistent for us, consistently good.
Yeah.
Arteta is excited at Erdegaard's arrival and believes he can help to supply the creativity that was once provided by Mesut Ozil. He's a player that we follow for some time. We believe he's got some special qualities that we need, that we've been missing. We have to give him a bit of time. He hasn't played that many minutes in Madrid, but he's been training hard and looks excited. He's a specialist to play in the pocket, to be in the number 8 and number 10 positions. He can play off the side, a really creative player, really comfortable on the ball in tight spaces. The capacity to create chances, score goals. Yeah, again, it's something we've been crying out for, because there's just some weird void that we have in our midfield that has been prevalent throughout this season, that is kind of in between the shield of the defenders and before the centre forwards. That just hasn't been fully filled yet, And it's I'm hoping he can make a good impression, Erdegaard. Here we go. Arteta said it'd be down to two things. First of all, how well he adapts here and how much of an impact he can have in our team. Second, what Real Madrid and the player think about it. I think he means in terms of if we can get him on a permanent move. I really don't know that much about Erdegaard personally. I'm not one of these people who looks up clips on YouTube of the players.
Yeah.
All I
know is he's had a load of
before they sign for us. But I feel like he's quite highly rated, which is good.
All I know is he's had a load of inform cards on FIFA. That's all I know mostly.
We'll see. You know, I'm not expecting him to start tonight. I'm not even expecting him to be on the bench, to be honest.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. You know, because really we've got nothing to lose at this point in the season. You know, we're out of the FA Cup. We're probably not going to win the Europa League, and I don't know if Ødegaard's even going to be able to be registered for the Europa League.
Yeah.
No chance we're going to get anywhere near the title this season. You know, obviously it's a bit of a moot point now I'm making there, but Europe, I still don't know if that's even on the cards. So I'm just thinking this is a season that we can kind of, it's a write-off, and that Arteta can continue to experiment with bringing players in, getting rid of Deadwood, and seeing what his best team is, really.
Yeah.
And Jamie Redknapp's actually raised an interesting point that he's got to rise. Ødegaard has, Smith Rowe, has to rise to meet the challenge of Ødegaard. And he's saying they're probably competing for the number 10 role. But I don't know. I can see him playing together, potentially.
Yeah, so I think, who have we got? We've got Chelsea tomorrow, haven't we? I think.
We're on a good run, I've got to say. We've taken 16 points from our last available 18, which is a huge return to form in comparison to how it was going earlier in the season. You know, I still get nervous when I watch this because you never know when our form can turn on a dime, you know, and just, you know, plummet back down again.
I think in terms of tomorrow, because we've got Brighton tomorrow. Brighton, they were in better form last year. You know, the start of the season, but I think they have fallen down in form. So if we lose to them, I will be very, I would be very upset. Not as upset as Thursday's result, but you know, or maybe, who knows?
I think you'll probably get rid of it. In terms of Man United, all the punters on Sky Sports seem to be saying that we're going to win. I mean, it's difficult, really. You know, the spanner, obviously, in the curveball that was thrown was Man United's loss to Sheffield United, which is one of the biggest shocks of the season.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
But they're still a consistent team. They've still got a good attacking line with Fernandes and Cavani and Pogba. Whether our defense will handle it, I don't know. I think Tierney is still out as well. And I think Smith Rowe has been struggling with fitness as well. So it could go anywhere, really. But I'll be happy with a draw. But I'm quietly confident we can get a result tonight. You know, and I'm never usually confident about Arsenal. You know, I have a feeling, a gut feeling. And if I'm wrong about that, I'm going to look incredibly stupid. But I mean, obviously, it's not the first time that has ever happened. Deep Tone's Dep Cup.
Yeah. And I just think tomorrow we need to afford to take risks. Not the same risks as putting Doherty on the bloody left-hand side. Like, what was that? When I saw him on the sheet and he was like, left wing back, I was like, but he's a right wing back, so he's just got to turn every time he wants to pass into the box. He
takes the leaf out of Arsene Wenger's book and puts players in positions they don't play.
Yeah, like Doherty, I think he's just like, fair play. He's allowed Aurier to get better, but I mean, I do think we do need a better right back, one that is good to start. And I think just Doherty, he's had over a half of a season now, and he just hasn't got it.
I think what Redknapp was saying about Ødegaard and Smith Rowe, again, just going back to that, is that I feel like he fears that Ødegaard's going to usurp Smith Rowe and Smith Rowe's connection as an academy boy to the fans, and you know, Smith Rowe's going to become disillusioned, which I hope doesn't happen. You know, because we need to keep hold of this kind of young nucleus and tie them down to contracts and stuff, because we're already probably going to lose Balogun at the end of the season, which is going to be a bit of a blow, really, because he's a terrific young prospect and he's probably going to do very well wherever he goes. It's you know, I'm excited about this young nucleus, and we're going to probably let Maitland-Niles leave on loan, I think, to There's a few. It says there's a few options. Hang on. Yeah, he's going to choose to either go to West Brom or Southampton, apparently on loan.
Right.
Maitland-Niles. There's rumours that Mustafi could go to Liverpool, which I will laugh my absolute bollocks off if that happens. Personally, because like he's one of the worst defenders I've ever seen play for Arsenal, and if he ends up at Liverpool,
That would be
then
wonderful.
maybe Max Aarons from Norwich to replace Doherty.
I would say yeah to that because like he's got to be better than Doherty at this rate. He's actually he seems like a naturally talented player, and like Doherty, which is like he's one of those players that doesn't have the natural skill. He has to work a lot harder. Where Aurier, he looks like he's built like a truck, so he can just go all around the pitch. Whereas Doherty he struggles to come back, and that is one of the main things a wing back has to do is be able to track back wholeheartedly because they feed in and then they got to go back. So they probably use up a lot of stamina during the whole match. And Doherty he hasn't got the pace either, I don't think.
Yeah, Tim was saying Liverpool's injuries are bad, but not Mustafi bad, surely. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've already got rid of Socrates, which is good. We've got rid of Kolasinac on loan.
Yeah.
Who else did we get rid of? Someone else who I can't remember, but they're all kind of dead woody, So it's good that Arteta is actually he's pinpointing the weaknesses of our squad and eradicating them.
I'll tell you one last point about the game on Thursday. Ben Davis, he just can't mark to save his life because you saw one of the goals in that match. Like there was nobody marking Salah, and he was just like Ben Davis was there, cooped up with like was it Rodon or Dyer, someone like that, and he's just like, dude, get in there, he's right there, and it threw the whole thing off, and it kept on happening. The other thing, I don't know what news is gonna be on Monday because that's the deadline day, isn't it? Monday.
Is it Monday? Is it? Because I'm always, because of obviously COVID throwing the whole season into disarray and starting later and ending later and the window not having a winter break and yada yada. I'm still a bit confused as to when the deadline day actually is.
Yeah, I know. Oh, bloody COVID, isn't it?
Yeah, but if we come out of this having sold Özil finally, put Kolasinac out on loan, he's never going to come back. Surely, Kolasinac. If he comes back and has any meaningful role in the team, I'll be shocked. Getting Socrates out. Guendouzi and Torreira were both only loans. Yes, they were, Tim, because no one will pay the extortionate, ridiculous wages. Yeah, Saliba's gone out on loan as well, Tim. It's just such a shame about Saliba, because he hasn't played 1 minute of football in an Arsenal shirt, and I just want to see what he's capable of, But he's had like personal issues and things, so whether he's got a future there remains to be seen.
Yeah.
We've only brought Ødegaard in. We surprisingly brought Ryan in from Brighton, which was a real head scratcher, and just, huh? Oh, okay. Kind of. Well, it's a decent backup option, certainly ahead of Runarsson. I mean, the poor kid, Runarsson, he probably needs to be out on loan somewhere, personally. If we end the window, let's just double check who we brought in.
While you're doing that, so Danny Rose is set to leave Spurs for Turkish side Trabzonspor.
Is Danny Rose still there?
He was still there, yeah, but he didn't have a number picked for him. So he was at the club, but he was just not in any part of the squad whatsoever. Which, if only you heard from Milan, eh? Yeah. It's such a dick. But there's also, I don't think as much, there's this speculation still about Dele Alli, but I don't know, I think Mourinho's trying to start giving minutes to Ali. I don't know, it's just really up in the air about Ali. They refused to give, I think Skip refused to come back on loan, from Norwich, so he's staying. He's still staying there. I think Harvey White? I think has gone somewhere as well. He's gone on loan to one of the Championship teams. Because I think was it him or Scarlett who got a goal against Marine. Bear with me a second. He.
So whilst you're saying all that, yeah, we've only brought in Erdegaard and Matthew Ryan, and they're both loans as well. So we probably forked out all of our cash on Partey, who he's fit again, by the way, and I think the prospect of a Partey, Saka, Smith Rowe, and Erdegaard midfield. That's very, very exciting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, our midfield is kind of a bit saturated now, as is our defense. I'm glad we got rid of Socrates. Still, a lot of players in our books that haven't got many. Chambers still yet to have a role in our team. Yeah. So whether we'll bring Guendouzi back from his loan, because there's rumors of that Arteta is going to bring him back, which I wouldn't mind really. I know they kind of had a bit of a falling out, but water under the bridge by this point, surely. Unless he's a proper dickhead, Guendouzi, and he just has an attitude problem, which there's rumors that he has. Torreira is still out on loan, but it's such a shame about Torreira. I'll be gutted if we lose him because I think he's definitely still got a role to play for us.
Okay. So I think we've covered up everything.
Yeah, I think we've covered most of the bases. But basically, I'm very excited about Erdegaard, and I hope he does well. And you want to get rid of half the Spurs team? Is that what we're saying?
The ones who don't give a shit.
Yeah, there you go.
They can't say they do give a shit, because they don't. End of story.